ladies and gentlemen. Leonetti!
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. That's very nice. You know, the greatest achievement that an entertainer feels is applause. So when I hear that applause, I think that's great. I mean, absolutely great. We have a magnificent show today. I want you to sit back and, what is it, Ed?
I just want to tell you something.
What do you want to tell me? Is this going to be long?
Well, a little bit.
What are you trying to do? You see I'm trying to do something?
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay. I promise you I'll give you... Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse my brother. He's been busting my cajones to get behind the table. He was just like, Mom, he wants a shot. I said, okay, so I'm going to give him exactly what he wants. So sit back, relax, don't move, because we got one hell of a show. You feel better now? Come on over here. Say hello to everybody. Say hi, everybody.
I feel better.
Give him a wave. Oh, look at that. Oh, you're dead. You're dead. We'll be right back.
Go with Melissa.com, a directory of ways to help your family and business lifestyle flourish. Go with Melissa.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Leonetti Show. What a show we have today. It's going to be something a little bit different, but you're going to really like because we got some very two special guest stars that I have on this show today. Good morning, Melissa. How are you? How you
great
feel?
Morning.
You look
great.
very pretty today.
Thank you.
You look very lovely.
Very handsome today.
Yes, I do. I can't argue with you there. Let me say hello to my sponsors, Mr. Bob Kellogg from Kellogg's Cornflakes. Bobby, I say this every time. You're like a brother to me, and there's no words to thank you because without you, there'd be no television show. And I really mean that because you are the one that said, get on that boob tube, Mike. You got the look, you got the style. I got you, baby. And I still eat Frosted Flakes. Would you believe? Because that's my favorite. What's your favorite?
Today, I'm going to go with Cocoa Krispies.
Cocoa Krispies,
yeah.
Okay. Because every morning I get up and I have some Frosted Flakes, a little frost on the flake, and I just knock it down. Also, I want to say WeLink. I want to mention WeLink. You know, it's my brother's, one of his businesses. If you want faster fiber optic in your home. Did I say it right?
You went so fast that
Fiber optic.
Fiber optic.
Fiber optic. Thank you very much. Well, what happens with dyslexia is a terrible disease, ladies and gentlemen. And you just give him a call and be happy to come out. Make sure I always say that he always loves to eat, so make sure you have a sandwich ready for him. You know, it could be a cheese bologna. It doesn't make no difference as long as it's got tomato on it and mustard. That's his favorite. And also my other sponsor, which is GoWithMelissa.com. Am I saying that correctly?
You are. Go with Melissa.
Do you remember the slogan, the song that I wanted to do?
Yes.
How's it go? Go with Melissa. Go with Melissa. Melissa.com.
Your mother.
See, you're something else. Unbelievable. And
That's the 2.0 version.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget my book, Deceit, Corruption, and Cover-Up. I am so proud to say, and like I said, when we shoot the show, we have so many different shows that we put in the hole. that we air July 25th. My book will go international. Let me repeat that, international. You can get it at Book Babies, you can get it at Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, and I'm very, very blessed and honored that I had that opportunity to do that. Also, you could always go on my website to take a peek at the book.
Mike Leonetti Variety
Mike
Show.
Leonetti Variety Show, and I got to tell you something, this has been marvelous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, before I go any further, my brother just pointed something out. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you notice where everybody see these everybody's got a podcast, but if you don't share and like, it doesn't go nowhere. I physically spend the money to push this out to thousands of people each week. You know what I mean? It gets a text. So when we do a show, it goes right to your phone. And people watch it when they want to watch it, which is great. And I'm very proud of that. But I would appreciate it if you like, share, subscribe. You can make a comment. Which be nice, be respectful, or I'm going to send my brother to go stab your tires. And we don't want that to happen because I think he's looking to get a job at Big O Tires. If they're still in business, I think they're out of business. So without further ado, ladies and Gentiles, monkeys and reptiles, I stand before you to sit behind you to talk about a subject I know nothing about. I am going to speak about the four corners of the round table. So without further ado, I'd like to say hello to two great guys, my brother, Mr. Anthony JQT Biondo, and that's Mr. Alan Yarborough. What's up, Big Al?
Oh, not enough.
We can put our heads together and make an ass out of ourselves. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Yarborough is not only an entrepreneurial genius and not only a very special friend of mine, who I love and respect dearly. He's the guy that, and I always will give credit where credit's due. He said, if you don't drive here, you can't save here.
Correct.
And he walked into my restaurant years ago, and I knew who he was, and we became instant friends. Al, thanks for coming to the show, buddy.
Oh, thank you for the invite. I appreciate it very much.
You've been in Vegas for a long time, haven't you?
I was born here.
No kidding.
I was born here, yeah.
And you always were in the car industry.
I was born into it. My father had a used car operation on Charleston. I think it was at the time East Charleston. It was the old Chevrolet store. It was over on the corner of, the Huntreach is right now. There's across the street. That's where the used car lot. So I've been around it most of my life.
Wow.
In the car business, everybody knows it's a very difficult business. And when you get a guy like Al, he's the guy that would go into a store, okay, like a Chevy dealer or a Cadillac dealer or a Rolls Royce dealer, you know what I mean, and would bring the volume of cars from, let's say, if they did 50 cars a month to maybe 500 or 600 cars a month that they sell. And that is an achievement that is absolutely incredible. How did you do that, Al?
I've been around it all my life, and it's all about people. If you have the right people in any store, whatever it happens to be, it generates a lot of goodwill, and it gets out into the atmosphere, and people like to do business where they feel comfortable. Right. So we change the atmosphere with that. Then we get real heavy at advertising. So we would spend huge amount of money advertising. We'd be on TV at least 7 days a week, probably 6 or 7 ads a day. Sometimes people get a little tired of it, but it starts to work. But you got to have the people. You got to have when I say people, you got to have the clientele that comes in, gets treated properly, they feel comfortable, you give the best deal that you possibly can and still stay in business, and you just stay after it. It requires a lot of hours, though. The car business is of course a lot of hours.
Now, is there more used cars sold or more new cars sold?
In the country, more used cars will be sold than new. I mean, it's big numbers. As different types of economy, and the economy will switch sometimes. It goes from, if you got real big economy, a lot of people buy the new cars because they can afford it. You might get special financing. You might get, your payments are lower, on and on and on. At other times, the economy is a little bit tougher. People, instead of buying a new car, they'll go to a pre-owned car, be it a few years old, whatever it happens to be, and that business will pick up. But it's not steady.
That's great. Well, Al, right next to you, there's no secret, there's my brother, Mr. Anthony Biondo, who I love and has a special place in my heart. He's one of not only another entrepreneurial genius, not only the co-producer of the Michael Leonetti Variety Show, does all whatever he does, he makes magic. He took a podcast into a television show. Thank you, Anthony, for coming on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You know, I like your hat.
You like that hat?
Where did you get it at?
Actually,
Because I'm missing a hat.
Believe it or not, back when I was on the strip with you, back in 2014, remember that little kiosk where we used to get the Chinese food?
Yeah.
We used to look at all the hats?
Right.
That's where it came from.
That's where the hat came from?
Yeah, but you didn't buy it. I bought it.
No, wow. I'm just going to say wow. I'm going to leave it.
Well, you're supposed to get a matching one. How come you get matching hats?
They don't.
Go ahead, Ed.
Here it is.
Go ahead, Ed.
Michael can't wear a hat. He's got to wear the box that comes in. Look at that head.
I appreciate that, Ed. I really do. But it's a nice thing to have a nose your size because it gives you shade. You know, we went to Lake Mead. I had scuba equipment. He said, I'm good for I'm good for an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to don't move. I want you to relax because I'm going to do something a little different. My brother always says, you know, Mike, how come people don't interview you? I said, I got so much to say. So we're going to do something a little different. I said, you think this job is easy? You're behind the camera. But I'll tell you what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, for the next segment. Then the next segment after that, we're going to come back with everybody. I want to have my brother and Melissa, and I'm going to sit right next where his seat at. And I want to show my brother how difficult a job like this is when you got people, some people that we have on our show, it's like watching paint dry. And it's very, very difficult. So don't move, ladies and gentlemen. Melissa and I will be right back, right down. Oh, my God, in heaven. Yeah, your sister's ass. We'll be right back, everybody.
From WeLink Internet, home of the super fast fiber optic speeds. Are you paying too much for your internet? Is your service slow? Is your bill outrageous and keep going up? Well, look no further. WeLink Internet has you covered. Not only do we have super fast speeds, unbelievable customer service, but our price is usually a lot lower than anyone else. Give me a call to see if your home is available. And I will give you 30 days free to try out our service with free installation, and all the equipment will be included with no rental fees. Give me a call now to get you set up with WeLink Internet.
And we're back. And thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the one and only the Michael Leonetti Variety Show. Yeah. I will be sitting in for Mr. Leonetti today for the remainder of probably 10 minutes. And we'll probably get him back on, hopefully. We'll see what happens in case we get the comments down below that says, hey, put your brother back on. That could happen. Before I begin or I say anything, Melissa, yes. I have to say you look amazing today.
Thank you.
And that dress you're wearing, is that just something you bought or somebody made it for you?
Well, this one actually, it was a gift. Oh. This one was a gift today. Yes. Oh. So I appreciate it. Yeah.
How pretty!
It's actually very hard to find true navy. If you know anything about true fashion, the colored navy is very, very hard and very expensive.
Did you buy it at Old Navy?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that would be funny, right?
This is new Navy.
This is new Navy.
Okay, just check it. Just want to make sure. Okay.
I gotta say though, I can't believe the shine isn't coming. I don't have a glare because you have hair. Yeah. Usually I'm over here and there's just like a shine, you know?
We're already one plus up on the new host, as you can see. Okay, one plus up, which is excellent. Thank you, Melissa, for pointing that out. Okay.
But you know what? You know what your brother always forgets to do?
What's that?
To like, share, and subscribe. Maybe you let everybody know.
Let's do that one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that you like, share, and subscribe. There's a certain reason for it. Because YouTube will share the video with many, 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 many people to say, hey, this is a great show, and everyone else likes it. We know you're going to like it. So it's good to hit that thumbs up, too, to let everyone know that you love the show as well.
And comment.
Please comment. You know, Melissa loves fan mail. So that's her little fan mail she looks at every week. That's what she does. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have the one, the only... believe it or not, Mr. Michael Leonetti joining us today as one of our guests here today. We thank you, Michael, for joining us. You know, I don't think Rick put anything on the bottom, so you're just whatever I say you are.
Do you like my hat?
I love the hat.
Do you remember the kiosk up on the strip? Okay? The little next to the little Chinese place? Yeah. That's where I got the hat at. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they always tease me about my beautiful cranium, you know what I mean? My head. Yeah. And this was out. Now, I want to show you something. This was my brother's. Okay? He talks about the size of my head. But you got to understand something. I think there's crazy glue in here. Wait a minute. I got to move it somehow. Oh, God in heaven. And I just wanted to thank everybody for watching me. And I said that earlier. They're not paying attention. So, since Melissa joked about my head, I want everybody to know I do need a co-host. If anybody's out there that wants the job, that will not joke about my head. You know what I mean?
That's a head within a head.
Oh, my God in heaven. Isn't how these kids wear the hats today?
I know. Yeah. So you make it look good, but you can keep the hat now because it's all stretched out.
No. This was stretched before I got this hat. This was stretched out. Oh, my God in heaven.
Well, also, I also want to add, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special event that's going to be coming up in November.
Yes, the 8th, I believe.
Yes, November 8th. And we have a lot of great people that are going to be in there. We got the unbelievable, very talented Monique. Monique she blew my mind when I heard her voice. And then bringing it back in the day with Twice as Nice. And our good friend Sal, we call him San Diego, but it's San Diego, is going to be there, and he's going to be performing a couple songs that are very entertaining, and you guys will have an excellent, great time. And let's not forget all the great, amazing food by Chef Mike that's going to be cooked there. And I'm telling you, if you never had a good Italian food, you're going to have it that night.
I believe there's some Romanian food there, too.
Yes, they do. A little bit of taste of, around the world is going to be going on there. And it's going to be $125 a ticket. And we ask you to please get dressed up because it is a black tie affair. As a matter of fact, the last event that we had the one and only Alan show up with his lovely wife and Terry. I don't have young timers, Mike. I got it. You know what I mean?
He knew it.
I got it, yes. You know, he's the host that's on the sideline. Do you ever see when you're driving in a car and the person next to you is constantly telling you where to drive? Side seat driver. Let me do what I got to do.
Well, you asked an interview, but you haven't asked me one damn question, and you clowned me since I sat down here.
that was the whole point.
And I hope I stretched his hat out. Okay?
My poor hat.
It'll never be the same.
Alan, I will say that you work for one of the biggest giants in the car dealership today. I mean, that's a privilege in its own. I mean, although you were, of course, an entrepreneur and he saw everything that you have done with your track record, of course, you'd be the gem of that business, you know? How did that actually come about that you were able to hook up with the famous Jim Marsh?
You know, it's interesting. I had dealerships in California. I had a couple of Ford stores, had a Honda store, and I was big into the used car operations. And I sold those in 2008. And I moved back to Las Vegas. I had gone to California when my mother and father got a divorce when I was a kid. I stayed in California. Always would travel back and forth to my friends still here. But I sold the stores in 2008. And I didn't do anything for a couple of years, and I decided to come back to Las Vegas. So I came back in 2010. I was looking for something to do. I didn't, you know, I can't, I'm too hyper for that. I just can't sit around. I can bounce around, my knees are bouncing.
It sounds like my brother.
So I got a chance to go with Mr. Marsh, and we hit it off. And I like Jim a lot. He's really good people. Wow. He treated me extremely well.
Wow.
The store was, the numbers weren't real big. They didn't do a lot of advertising, did some advertising. And my whole background has always been in marketing and motivation, things like that. And that store needed a little bit of that. And I was able to come in and we did real well. I mean, extremely well.
That's fantastic. I love that. I love stories like that you're able to find. So that happens to me. You know, my brother says I'm going to be a millionaire with him. I'm still waiting.
You're still waiting?
You're
still waiting
for it? I don't know.
Speaking of Michael, I want to ask Michael a question.
Woo!
It's about time somebody.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's give some attention to Michael.
No, it's okay.
Mr. Leonetti.
Yes, ma'am.
You have been a singer, performer, everything since you were a child.
Yep.
Still is a child.
Yes, a child at heart for sure.
Yes.
Pretty much all different states. What is the #1 show or event that you produced or did or anything out there that you could say was your favorite and you wish you could go back to that moment because it was your favorite?
Melissa, every show that I've done since I was a kid was always spectacular. I'll be honest with you. But one of the achievements, the big achievements, was when I was in Beijing, China. And in fact, if you go on the internet and pull Michael Leonetti up, I did a show for the Shaolin monks out in Beijing. Wow. And it was a 6-week shot. It took me 6 weeks to do it. I had to go back to Vienna because I was producing the show, and I had a German engineer. I don't speak German. I speak French and other, but not German. And I would tell the interpreter, tell this guy to do this, tell that guy to do that. It took us 27 hours to do a 7-minute video, which I booked him at the MGM Grand. But it was an unbelievable show. And then I went, when I was in China, I hooked up with a group called the Wu Chao.
Gesundheit.
Wu Chao, thank you. Wu Chao. That was the name of the group. And I put these 2 acts together. You know what I mean? Because the music that they had would have not been conducive to Las Vegas, and changed the whole perspective of that. And I got to tell you, it was a spectacular event for me. This was back in 2000, so you can go on it and you'll see it. And it was the costumes. This is way before Circus du Soleil. We're going back 25 years ago. Circus du Soleil wasn't even. I don't even think they did it at that particular time, but it was a big production show, 175 people on the show. It was big. It was super. It was 2 shows that I put together, but the Shaolin Monks was incredible.
I bet that was incredible. And how, like, you've met everybody from, top to bottom. Who would you say was your favorite person and that inspired you to do what you did? I mean, you're doing what you're doing already, but who really just inspired you to go, wow, I'm so grateful and thankful and blessed to be doing what I'm doing because I'm around these people?
My grandfather and my grandmother. I want to be very honest. They were very supportive to me as a child growing up. You know what I mean? The music that I do today, it was through them. You know what I mean? Now at the age of 7, I'm in my 70s. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful, to still continue to do what I do. And it's hard to pinpoint just one person. Right. But each day of my life, there's always a new achievement. Because if you live in the past, you can never jump to the future. Amen. And that's the problem with a lot of people, especially from a spiritual point of view. Because I wish I was the man I am today 40 years ago. You know what I mean? I could not see the trees through the forest. And as you get older, you appreciate friends like Mr. Yarborough. My brother come into my life, give him an opportunity to show his talent. You know what I mean? And to have you be on the show, which is a great achievement to me, is because there was a time it was just 1 hour of me, and I wouldn't consider anybody else. So, now I have the opportunity of reaching out to other people, and that's what I really enjoyed doing.
I'm going to steal one more question from you. From 7 to 72, you lived an extraordinary life. You lived a life that a lot of men or even women wish they could even touch upon. I mean, you traveled around the world. You performed in front of the greatest entertainers that were on the face of this earth.
Right.
What is the greatest, I would say, accomplishment during that whole time that you can say, I'm glad that was in my life?
Well, I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as you come back from commercial, because my brother did not pay attention to the time. So we're going to be back in a few minutes. We're going to do some commercials, and when we come back, I'm going to tell my brother exactly what my thing was. You're not paying attention. You're not paying attention.
Rick, you can come back to me. You can come back to me right here, Rick. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to answer that question when we come back, just to let you know. Just hold on to your seats. And lady, don't you go nowhere, because Melissa gets mad every time you do.
I do.
So stay right there. We'll be right back. Well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a little thing that's going on the side that we're seeing people write and stuff, and they're saying, keep Anthony as the host. So I'm back again. It's just by popular demand, I'm going to stay right where I'm at. It just really makes sense. And we're going to get back to that question I asked Michael, and we're going to make him answer that one. It's a question a lot of people would really love to know, and a lot of people ask him this question. So let's let the world hear.
For the
what it's
people
all
that
about.
just tuned in, what was the question?
Michael, it's a 30-minute show. They're already here. There's nobody just tuning in. And if you are tuned in, rewind, hear the question, and you'll know what's going on.
She goes to the
Okay?
bathroom.
That's how
She
simple
goes
that
back
is.
to the bathroom, right? It's that lady.
I don't.
Well, I'm in because I forgot the question. That's why.
All right. I'll say it one more time.
Go
From
ahead.
7 to 72, you were an unbelievable entertainer.
Right.
You had a very extraordinary life. Unbelievable. I mean, a life that people wish they can touch upon. You traveled around the world. You met the greatest people that were on this earth, the greatest entertainers. You dined with these people as well. You had them at your home, which is very rare to get a high-end person that's, very popular in your home, but yet you had no problem doing it. What is a great accomplishment out of everything you ever done in your life? The greatest accomplishment that you can thank the Lord for that was brought into your life?
Very simple. Everybody knows I wrote a book. Everybody knows I went away for a very, very long time. When I was away, in prison, I directed and I wrote believe it or not, I wrote 60 biblical plays from the Bible. I had over 17,000 men came to the show, and I worked with 300 of the roughest, toughest guys in the world that gave up on God. Don't walk up on a yard with a Bible. You'll get stabbed. You'll get beat up. You'll get smashed. But yet I brought these men into the chapel, and I believed in these guys, and I taught them God's word. And for me, the greatest achievement I've ever done in my entire life, and there's nothing that could ever top that, nothing, is those plays I did for those men in that institution.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, out of everything that you've done in your life, that's the thing that sticks out the most, and
Of course.
I think that's the greatest thing that should
Of
stick
course.
out.
Now, if I didn't have that, I would have to say cooking for Sinatra, doing the show in China, you know what I mean, having Robert Goulet and all the major celebrities in my house for dinner. That's all good. That's all, what you call finite.
Yeah.
But to do something like that and to have these guys come in, that life without, never getting out, you're done, you're finished, they're never getting out, and walk out of that chapel and look at me in the eye and say, Mike, you touched my heart, and see those guys give their life up to Christ. That's an achievement.
Wow,
That's an
amen.
achievement.
Melissa, I know you had a question
Yeah,
for
Alan. I know you're just sitting there, and I just wanted to bring you back in a little bit.
Thank you.
So, with the industry that you're in, it's been changing drastically, right? With the online businesses and such. So, explain to us, how has it changed where it comes to just being able to go online and purchase a car rather than the service and everything you were used to as car salesmen?
That changed about, I'd say 15 years ago, started to change, and now it got heavier and heavier. A lot of your cars are probably bought online, or at least you go online to look at them or to study them or decide what you want, decide what color you want, what kind of engine you want, what kind of financing you want. You can do all that online now. You don't have to go to the dealership. You do have to go to the dealership to pick them up because there's, you can't, I don't think there's no, actually there is some people that deliver to your house, but you got to do the paperwork. And most states don't allow you to do paperwork online. They only will, you have to be in person. But some states do, it just depends where you're at. But yeah, that's pretty much what's changed about it. You're getting a lot more of what we call one price buying, one price shopping. That came out years ago with, they tried that with the Saturn. Didn't work. General Motors did that. Didn't work real well People just didn't get used to it. Now it's prevalent. Everybody, most customers know more than we know, and we're in the business, and we're looking at the cars every day, and we know what kind of finance is available. We know what the factories are doing. We know what kind of incentives they are. But the customer has that available to them now. All you just push the button.
That's right. That's right. Alan, thank you so much for joining us here today. We really, really appreciate it. Michael, thank you for the opportunity. I can sit in your seat here and be a part of the show like on a different level. And I really, really appreciate it. You're my brother, and I love you to death. I'm going to send you the bill for that hat because you stretched it out. Okay, so just let you know that. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not a spiritual show in any way, but I will tell you that we have some spiritual people here. And what I will say is, if I had, no, that's your line. That's your line. That'll do.
I've heard that one before.
I will say, keep your focus on God. Keep your eyes looking up. Okay, because when you look up, the blessings come down. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today as well.
Thank you.
I know you're a very. If you ever go to melissa.com, just. I can't believe 90 things that this girl does. I don't know how she does it on a daily basis, but I thank you all for joining us today. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share this amazing show with somebody you love. Because if you love them, it's called caring. So make sure you do that. So we really appreciate it. Be safe, be careful. God bless you all, and may you all have a wonderful, excellent day. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place. God bless you all.
Ciao, Mike Leonetti Variety Show fans. For everything Leonetti, go to the website MikeLeonettiVarietyShow.com. Looking to have your business or client as a guest on the show? See if you are qualified to become a brand partner on the Mike Leonetti Variety Show by going to the site today. That's MikeLeonettiVarietyShow.com. Don't forget to order his book, Deceit, Corruption Cover-Up. Ciao for now.